sitting here this morning because God completely wrecked me. And God reminded me of what he did for Abraham. And Abraham waited so many years for the promise of God to be fulfilled in his life. And God was so faithful. And the funny thing is, I was watching 12 Years a Slave this morning, and I was looking at the scene. Well, my husband was watching 12 Years a Slave this morning, and I came across the scene where Solomon was finally rescued out of slavery, and he got to see his family after 12 years. And just thinking of how faithful God was in such a tumultuous situation, something that we as humans can't even imagine a day. And God just reminded me of Abraham and reminded me, and he said, it was things that I spoke over your life before you were even born, before you were even in this earth that you haven't even heard yet. And it just swelled up my heart with so much happiness and so much peace and so much just reassurance, because we make a list of mistakes of things that we do. We make a list of trauma. We make a list of all the things that we do wrong, and the dreams and the things that we want for our lives. We tend to put those things on the back burner because we think, how can a God like that we have love and see someone like me after all the things I've done? But God knew what would happen in your life, but he still spoke a word over you before you even came into this earth. So I just want to use this moment of clarity for myself to remind you that God spoke over you before you even made it to this earth. It was things that he spoke over your life that you have yet to even hear right now. The goodness of God chases us down. It chases us down. So I want you to be encouraged that you are not the list of mistakes that are in your mind, the list of things that you have done wrong or been through, or the trauma that isn't even your fault that you feel guilty and shameful of. God's love does not keep a list of mistakes. It does not keep a right or wrongs, but it frees us from those things. The scripture says, perfect love casts out all fear. God started to remind me of that because I had that as my Facebook cover so many years ago when I rededicated my life back to God in my late 20s. And I love that scripture. But to be honest, the revelation of what it meant had yet to be revealed to me. And now sitting here, I understand what that means. So the trauma, the hurt, the pain, all the things that you feel like, oh my goodness, it stagnated me. It stopped me from receiving what I'm asking God for. God already knew that was going to happen. And yet he still chose for you to come into this earth because the purpose and the things that he has spoken over you and established in your life that you have yet to see will complete until the end. I just want to encourage somebody this morning with that because my heart is just so full. Like in an instant of a moment, I was just sitting there and God was just dropped it in my spirit, and it sent me into just a tear-filled praise of just like, God, you are so faithful to your word. So no matter what obstacle, no matter what adversity may come up against you in this day, in this hour, in this season, remind yourself, and I'm going to say this because I said this in my video before, remind yourself of what God has already done. Remind yourself of what God has already said. And just know that you have yet to even hear or see the things that God is going to do in your life. Like God told Jeremiah, I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. So when you were just an itty bitty clay in the middle of God's hand, and he was forming you before he even placed you in your mother's womb, he already knew who you would be and knew what you would go through. What an amazing God that we serve. And I'm just excited because the full scope and revelation of who God is constantly revealed in so many different ways. So be encouraged and know that you are loved, you are cared for, you are for a purpose. You are not here by happenstance.